Imagine landing on a hostile foreign shore, outnumbered by the enemy, and your commander orders you to set your own ships on fire. In 711 AD, the Iberian Peninsula, known as Hispania, was ruled by King Roderick. He was an 80-year-old tyrant whose oppressive tactics kept his subjects in line through fear. But across the Strait of Gibraltar, a massive military machine was moving fast. 40 years earlier, in 670 AD, the Arab general Uqba bin Nafi had marched his forces westward across the vast, scorching North African deserts, establishing military camps and expanding the Islamic Empire to the shores of the Atlantic. But holding that territory proved difficult. The native Berber tribes were fiercely independent and warlike. They pushed back against the central caliphate, ultimately rebelling and killing Uqba bin Nafi in battle. When Musa bin Nusayr was appointed governor of the region, he realized that trying to crush the Berber resistance would only drain his resources. Instead, he recruited them. He directed their martial energy outward, turning a massive internal threat into a unified army aimed squarely at Europe. Just across the water from Hispania sat the coastal stronghold of Ceuta, governed by Count Julian. Julian was nominally allied with Hispania and had sent his daughter Florinda to King Roderick's royal court. While there, the king abused her. Devastated, but knowing he lacked the military strength to challenge the king directly, Julian devised a deception. He arrived at the Spanish court claiming his wife was on her deathbed and wished to see her daughter one last time. Roderick fell for the lie and allowed Florinda to leave. With his daughter safe, Julian sought immediate retaliation. He traveled straight to Governor Musa bin Nusayr in Africa and officially invited the Muslim army to invade Roderick's kingdom. Looking at this map, you can see how narrow the physical divide between the two continents actually is. Because of a single monarch's personal arrogance, the Arab-Berber military acquired a willing local ally, granting them the exact geographic gateway they needed to strike the European mainland. Governor Musa moved cautiously. In July 710 AD, he sent a trusted Berber commander named Tariq across the strait with 500 horsemen on a reconnaissance raid. They easily pillaged the coast and returned, confirming the Visigothic army was fractured and completely unprepared. The following year, Musa organized a full invasion force of 7,000 cavalrymen. To lead them, he chose his capable general, a freed slave named Tariq bin Ziyad. In 711 AD, Tariq's fleet crossed the sea and landed at a massive rocky promontory. Today, that location is famous as Gibraltar, a name derived from the Arabic Jabal Tariq, meaning the mountain of Tariq. Upon reaching the shore, Tariq made a decision that defied conventional logic. He ordered every transport ship that brought them there to be set ablaze. He stood before his men and delivered a harsh ultimatum. The sea is behind you, and the enemy is in front of you. If you want to live, you have to fight. By intentionally eliminating their only route of retreat, Tariq weaponized the psychology of his own troops. Without a safety net, their fear of the unknown was instantly converted into absolute, desperate momentum. Tariq's forces advanced and quickly routed a regional commander. The shock of this defeat terrified King Roderick. He immediately halted his military campaigns in the north and drafted every noble, landlord, and soldier he could find for a massive counteroffensive. This chart shows the sheer mathematical terror of the impending battle. Governor Musa had sent reinforcements, bringing Tariq's total force to 12,000 destitute men. They were about to collide with King Roderick's fully armored Christian army of 100,000. The two armies met near the Guadalete River. Seeing the anxiety on the faces of his outnumbered soldiers, Tariq rode through the ranks, delivering a rousing speech to steel his men against the sea of iron standing before them. When the lines finally clashed, the fighting was brutal. For a full week, bloody combat raged from dawn to dusk in an exhausting stalemate. Finally, on the 8th day, Tariq ordered a desperate, concentrated counterattack. His Arab and Berber soldiers hit the enemy with such ferocity that they shattered the Christian lines, forcing the massive army into a chaotic retreat. Even Emperor Roderick fled for his life. According to historical accounts, as he attempted to cross the local river, the ruthless waves pulled him under, and the king drowned. The death of Roderick decapitated the Visigothic command structure in a single afternoon. Without their king, the entire regional empire instantly collapsed. Tariq capitalized on the chaos immediately. He divided his forces into smaller groups and sent them out to secure the country, easily capturing major urban centers, including the heavily fortified capital of Toledo. Upon hearing of the victory, Governor Musa bin Nusayr crossed the strait himself. He hoisted the Islamic flag over cities like Seville and Zaragoza, with ambitions to push his military campaign even deeper into Europe. But their advance was suddenly cut short. Orders arrived from the capital in Damascus, officially recalling both legendary commanders back to the Central Caliphate. By the time they returned to Syria, the political landscape had shifted. The newly appointed ruler, Caliph Suleiman, viewed them as rivals. He ruthlessly stripped both Musa and Tariq of their titles, their military ranks, and their wealth. The general who had delivered Hispania to the empire was cast aside. Tariq bin Ziyad spent his final years in severe poverty and exile, quietly passing away in complete obscurity in 720 AD. Yet his tactical choices on the battlefield laid the foundation for Al-Andalus. The culture, architecture, and civilization established by his victory would thrive in Europe for the next 800 years. Tariq bin Ziyad was ultimately discarded by the political machine he served, but his decision to burn his own ships, trading his only lifeline for total commitment, permanently rewrote the political map of Europe.